Well, all of this wonderful talk about the global issues and global feminist challenges reminds me of my time as executive vice president when Molly Yard was president. We had a delegation from around the world who came to the Now Action Center. There were probably 25, 35 women from literally all over the globe who came in. Multiple languages, multiple styles of dress and demeanor. And we had a really good discussion. It began rather formally and then gradually got down to just some genuine, heartfelt feelings about what was going on. Molly at the time was very frustrated, as were we all, as are we all still, with the state of women's health in this country and women's health care and health care generally, its availability or lack of same. And in talking about breast cancer, and we were working at that time to get funding for additional breast cancer research, which ultimately came through the Congress by way of funding for the military, which I was particularly amused by. You can find all kinds of places to hide little projects in the military. Molly, in trying to make her point about how passionately she felt about breast cancer, burst out in front of this delegation saying, what are we going to have to do? March bare-breasted down Pennsylvania Avenue? And immediately the meeting disintegrated into 25 different languages among the 24 women, all responding one way or another. There were some women, in fact, from Nicaragua who thought it would be a wonderful idea. But they were ready, you know. There were women from India who were taking, I mean, they were all taking this idea very seriously. And the women from India finally prevailed by saying, well, you know, we would really respectfully ask you to consider the consequences of doing that. You know, in our country, when we wear our traditional saris, we don't wear bras. It's just not part of our traditional garb. And yet, because of that one demonstration in the United States, we are called bra burners. And so whatever you do here is going to affect us at home. It struck me at that time both the responsibility that we bear in terms of our position and as you described, our privileged position in this country, and also the respect with which we have to proceed as we involve ourselves in global issues. We learned in many different instances how important that could be. Let me give you an example. When we went to China, Karen, where are you? Karen Johnson and Wanda Alston and I buddied up over in China, and while Wanda and I were whining because it was raining, Karen, ever the pragmatist, marched in and got us all ponchos, so we'll stop whining. Which gave us an opportunity then to actually talk to our sisters from China, and we discovered, for instance, out of listening respectfully and not assuming that we knew what needed to be done everywhere, that they thought our customs very peculiar, in particular the notion of confidentiality. I mean, why would you be uncomfortable and embarrassed and hide this when in fact they had found very good results in bringing the spotlight and shaming the man? So that if there was violence in a household, first their community got on his case, and if that didn't work, leaders from his community went to his work site where he could be punished. So the notion that, you know, of course we want to maintain confidentiality was just blown away. I thought also of the issue of female genital mutilation and our discussions there, where the whole question of cultural issues, multiculturalism, relativity, and of course we who do not hesitate to challenge our own religious hierarchies, find ourselves often intimidated in some ways. But what we found as a vision of a global approach was being very respectful and following the lead of the women who lived in those countries, who lived in those cultures, who lived that problem. And so the women who talked with us about the work on female genital mutilation made it so clear that it needed to be addressed as a health issue and not an issue of violence. That yes, it was a violent practice, but that these families did not do it because they wanted to torture their children, but because they wanted them to be marriageable in cultures where often, if they were not mutilated, they were not marriageable, and where there were few opportunities, if any, outside of marriage. So we had this whole discussion about presenting it as a health issue, that would help those families make a different decision. So it has been an extraordinary opportunity to work globally.